Good evening. Welcome to another episode of OmenG's Stupid Scary Stories. It's been an interesting week. Interesting. Why was it interesting, you say? Why was it interesting? Well, it's the whole point of me being here. I'm going to tell you exactly why it was interesting. As soon as I change the mood up a little bit in here. There we go. Yeah. Got off work a little bit early on Friday. Normally I would just come in and spend time with the wife and kids and talk about the week, how it went, shit. But I felt like lately I've been neglecting Razamul. So I told Razamul, hey, listen, we're gonna go out and just do some dumb shit so you can get some energy. You're looking a little bit peckish over there, you know?
Shit. I never thought that I was gonna hear you say anything about being concerned with my goddamn well-being and shit. I mean, lately, you've just been kind of working and ignoring the fuck out of me. Like, I've been stuck in this goddamn bottle. I need some suffering. And you haven't been suffering at all. In fact, you've been happy as shit. And, I mean, I don't like you and all. You know, I'm learning to kind of, tolerate you and shit. But, I need suffering. And everybody's been happy. And I don't like that. And, your son came home earlier today. He was a little upset. You didn't get to make his animation. You didn't voice it for him like he asked you to. And I got a little taste. This is like an appetizer of suffering. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I need more. And so, let's do something, please. I've got some ideas if you want to hear them.
What ideas do you have, Razamul?
We can go back to the demon realm and do some stuff there.
No. We're not going back to the demon realm, buddy. Every time we go there, it's some crazy ass shit. I don't want to deal with any crazy ass shit, Razamul. Crazy shit, yes, but crazy ass shit, no. It's just a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much.
Oh, no, well, yeah, mine.
Well, I was out, driving, and there's this fucking abandoned, dilapidated, broke down motel that I seen tucked behind an Econo Lodge off the main road. I'm interested in knowing why they didn't tear it down. It looks like some haunted ass shit. Like, I'm not even joking with you. It looks haunted as fuck. Overgrown with trees and shit. So like a tree growing out of a window. Not into the window, out of the window. Which is weird. You would think that, trees would grow into the window and not out of it.
Oh, that sounds fucking delightful. In a suffering kind of way. Maybe somebody died in the damn motel. And their spirit be stuck there. We should go investigate immediately. Come on, let's go.
So, I put Razamul in my, his traveling jar. And he and I hop in the car, tell my wife, hey, go in the sheets. Which, technically, I have to pass sheets to, have to pass this place to get the sheets. Or do I have to pass sheets to get to the place? Either way, it's near sheets. Who fucking cares? Right? So, I went to sheets. I did. I got a couple of milkshakes. Even though I don't really like their milkshakes, I figured I better get something so that I don't come back with nothing. As I could have got candy anywhere. So I had to get something that said sheets. Just so, in case there was any questions, I had something from sheets. Right? So, got the milkshakes, put them in the car, and drove to the little motel place thing. Get out, immediately, Razamul was like, fucking going, fucking ape shit. He's swirling around the jar and shit, popping back and forth, twerking. He was doing the demon twerk. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Razamul? He's like, oh yeah. Oh, come on, let's go. There's some fucking suffering here. I can smell it through the jar. It's gonna be fucking phenomenal for me. I don't know how it's gonna be for you, but for me, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I can
smell it from here. Oh, come on, let's go. You're wasting time. He's pop, 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 twerking
his little demon butt off. And, you know, demons don't have sex. Cis, meaning there's no gender among demons. They're just demons. They don't have balls, penises, or vaginas. They're just demons. They spawn from the demon realm. So, to see a demon twerk, all those strange as shit. It wasn't as strange as if I was driving down the street somewhere and saw like a grown man, masculine, not homosexual at all, twerking. It was just kind of not like that. So I just want you to understand that watching him twerk, and I call Razamul a he because of the way his voice sounds, but watching him twerk was just weird because he's a demon. You know, I didn't know that they actually did that, right? You know, so anyway, past the twerking shit, who cares? You know, he is just excited as fuck. You know, I got my flashlight and I'm shining it on this dilapidated fucking motel. And I'm wondering to myself, why wouldn't they have torn this down? I mean, they built this big ass hotel right in front of it. And I mean literally, folks, right in front of it. It's less than like 20 feet away from the other hotel. Why would you not just tear the shit down, right? I mean, why would I, if I was a guest at this hotel, want to walk out, smoke a cigarette if I smoked cigarettes, which I don't, but let's just say I did for the sake of the story. And I smoke cigarettes. Smoking a cigarette, and I'm looking at this fucking dilapidated ass fucking building. I'd be like, hey, could you move my room? Because, you know, I'm trying to have sex with my girlfriend up here, and that eyesore scaring her, and she won't drop her drawers. Well, sir, I'm sorry. We don't have any other rooms available. You're just going to have to go to another motel. Can I get a fucking refund? No. You know, that's what it would be like if, you know, that happened. But, right, anyway. So I got my flashlight. You know, it's dark. As usual. I mean, like I told you, I get out late. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. By the time we get there. So I'm shining my flashlight around. So when I notice, like, a shadow move through the wall. The far end. Now, I'm getting the chills. Right? Hair standing on the back of my neck, goosebumps. Or as other people say, goose pimples. I like goosebumps better. So I'm going to say goosebumps. Goosebumps. All over my arms and shit. It's popping up everywhere. Razamul is just fucking excited. He's like, the jar is literally vibrating from the amount of excitement he has. Now, I don't know if I should be scared more so than I already am, because it's just a scary looking place, or just be like, well, Razamul's here, everything is fine. But then I was thinking about the time that he tried to get brolic with me when we were in the demon realm. So this could be one of those types of situations where he may think or know something, that I don't know. Turns out, he did know something that I didn't know. Walk in to the front door of one of the rooms, or I guess where the main office was, because there was like a counter type of deal, little bell, old ass bell, right? You know, all rusty, fucking cobwebs all over it and shit. Dark, dank, stank, nasty. It was the way it smelled inside of this place. Like people had been using it as like a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Take pisses and shits in there. That's what it smelled like. It was gross. All right. Then I could smell the smell of rotting meat. And I'm like, are people just like throwing garbage and shit in here? That's gross.
Razamul's like, nope! Come on, let's go. In the next room, let's go in there.
I was like, why, Razamul? Why do you want to go in there so bad? Do you know something about this place that I don't know?
No, I don't know anything. You're the one who told me about this fucking place. I didn't tell you about this place. I said I wanted to go to the demon realm, and you said, no, there's a fucking motel, and we can go there. And so why are you asking me questions about what I know about this place? I don't know anything about this place.
Okay, fine, whatever. You know, Razamul, just calm down. We'll let's take it slow. Like I said, it stinks in here, man. So, you know, I slowly make my way into the next room. in this room, the odor is so strong, I throw the fuck up. All over the ground. You know, Razamul's cracking up laughing. He's cracking up laughing. That's not funny, Razamul. It's not funny. How about I open up your jar and let you smell this shit?
Oh, I'd love it. I already know I would. Why don't you open up the jar? Oh, let me out.
He's too enthusiastic. You know, he's just like real. There's something about the way he feels that I'm not feeling. Like I told you, cold chills, hair, back of the neck, goosebumps. In the distance, like towards the far back of this second room, I can hear the sound of scratching. Right? It's just like scratching sound. You know what scratching sounds like, right? Well, that's what it sounded like, scratching. So, I decided that I'm not going any further. And as soon as I decide that, this force grabs me by my fucking shirt, drags me into the corner of the room. Feet are all sliding. I'm like, oh god! Ah!
Razamul, help! How am I supposed to help you? I'm in the fucking jar. You should let me out the jar.
Well, maybe I should let you out the jar, but help me now. Like, do something. Get out the jar, please. Of course, he couldn't get out the jar. There'd be no point in me putting him in the jar if he could get out of the jar. But I couldn't get to him, you know, because I dropped him when this thing, you know, whatever it was, force, grabbed me, dragged me into the corner. In the corner, the smell was so thick, you could touch it. And then I realized I was touching it. It was a, like, weird creature of sorts. Found out, obviously, that it was a demon. But somehow, this demon had been trapped in our world. Trapped. And a trapped demon can no longer shift its shape like Razamul does. And you're saying, well, Razamul's trapped. Yeah, but he's not bound to our realm. He can go back and forth between our realm and his realm if he wants to. He wasn't banished from the demon realm like this demon was banished. Which is what I found out when the demon started talking to me. Now I'm thinking this nasty, disgusting fucking demon wants to eat me, right? Because it's a demon. And it stinks really bad. Like, I told you how bad it stinks. I threw up when I was far from it. Now I'm like right up on it. It's speaking to me. Its breath was horrendous. It smelled like a bag of horse assholes that had just taken huge, gigantic dumps in the field filled with manure from cows on top of elephant dung covered with buffalo shit mixed in with human mud butt. That's what it smelled like. That's how horrendous and disgusting his breath smelled. Breathed in my face. Nose hairs immediately burnt right out of my nose. I could smell the burnt hairs. I could smell them. The hairs burnt. Face hair gone. Hair on my head, I was bald. Like a chemo patient. And I'm not making fun of y'all, so don't take this the wrong way. I'm just trying to describe how bad this breath was. Eyelashes and eyebrows gone. I almost died. Because I didn't want to breathe anymore out of my nose. And I was afraid to breathe out of my mouth because I was like, a smell this bad must have a taste to it. The particles of stink must be thick in the air. And they'll get in my mouth. And then I won't be able to get the taste out of my mouth. So I'm holding my breath. You know, he's still trying to talk to me. But like I told you, the breath was so bad I couldn't understand what he was saying. But he was speaking perfectly good English. So when I realized it wasn't trying to eat me, you know what I'm saying? I kindly asked it if it could release me so I could cover my face as his breath was stinking. And he said yes, and I covered my face quickly, gagging the whole time.
What is your problem?
And so he told me the story of why he was banished from the demon realm. His name was Jericho, or at least that's the name that he decided to take after his demon name was revoked by the Grand Duke of Hell. He told me that long before I was even born, he had roamed between both realms, torturing human souls, dragging them into the demon realm to torture them some more, before sending them back to the human realm, where they would, tell stories of what happened to them. And, back in the days when he was doing this, there were asylums and mental hospitals and shit like that, so these people would be locked away in mental institutions. So he would be able to just go to one place and get all the suffering that he needed in one place. And he, there's fucking asylums all over the world, so this dude was well traveled. It's well traveled. And there were many demons that were jealous of him. Jealous. Now there was one particular demon, his name was Dabala Balamuru, right? I'm not going to say it again, so I hope you guys remember that. We're just going to call him D for short, okay? Now, this demon D, he was like right up under the Grand Duke of Hell, one of the Grand Dukes. He's like his clerk or some shit. A lot of power and status. He had his eyes on this human lady. He kind of liked her and shit. He would take human form and he would go out on dates with this woman. Now, the Grand Duke of Hell didn't know anything about this. He knew nothing about this at all, right? Because you're not supposed to go to the human realm and cavort with humans as if everything is everything without the purpose of eventually torturing them or something like that, right? Now, Jericho, he found out about this shit, about the little secret that this demon had. He tried to blackmail him because, Jericho wanted to be a Grand Duke at some point in his demon career as well. The only way that you move up in demonhood is to remove other demons. It's not like you're appointed to some prestigious office by voting and shit like that. No, there's no voting. I was like, really? Oh, Grand Duke demon elections, and we've got Jericho versus John. John here has been hanging out with humans. It doesn't work that way. There's no campaigning and shit like that. It's, trickery, deceit, stuff like that. So, Jericho came up with this fucking idea, right? He would possess the soul of this woman that this demon liked and was, having a relationship with as a human. He would possess him, right? And then, upon doing so, he would then kill D. Things didn't work out exactly the way he had hoped they would work out. Now, he played this whole thing for years, right? For years he played it. I mean, we're talking like 100 years. From the days of collapsing, the reason he dragged it on for so long is because eventually asylums and things like that started to close, and crazy people began to wander around, as they do now, in different places. So they were spread out. A lot of them died. So his supply was running low. So what he decided to do was to try to inflict suffering on D by changing the way this woman saw him. Every time he would possess this woman, he would show her a little bit more of what demons were. Sort of like giving her the sight, so that she could see demons. And of course, when she could see demons, scared the shit out of her. as it would any normal person, except for me, of course. And this frightened her. You know, she called up her lover, D. She told him about the things that was happening and things that she was seeing. And he told her he would come right over and comfort her. Right? So he did. Come right over. But when he came to see her, she had been possessed by Jericho at the time. Now, of course, when he left, he told his boss, the Grand Duke, that he was going to inflict some suffering in the human realm, and this particular woman, he'd return within a week or so. Whatever. So while he's with this woman, who's really Jericho, they're doing all types of, stuff that men and women do. Going out for dinner, comes home, wears that ass out, falls asleep next to her, right? So he thought. In the middle of the night, he hears the sound of flesh being stripped from bone. You're like, how would he know what that sounds like? He's a demon, that's how he knows. Ripped flesh from human bone all the time. Now he's wondering why he hears this sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, is she cutting her own flesh from her bones? And she was cutting her own flesh from her bones. See, Jericho had left her in the middle of the night after, he fucked D, because he was possessing her at the time that they did the So D didn't even really get a chance to really tap her ass this particular night. He was tapping Jericho's ass. Now, when Jericho, left her body, she saw D for what D was, which was a demon. She thought about all the times they had had sex, and it revolted her. And on top of which, unbeknownst to D, she was pregnant. He got her pregnant. He was about to be a demon baby daddy. But she was going to have none of that. The sound of flesh being torn was the sound of her tearing open her stomach and uterus to rip out the demon spawn that was inside of her. You're probably like, how is she cutting herself open without screaming and yelling and shit? I don't know how. I'm telling you what he told me. Don't ask me how she wasn't screaming and yelling. I couldn't tell you that. But she wasn't. And when he saw what she was doing, he was in shock. What are you doing, Miranda? You demon. She said this. She pulled out the fetus of his demon spawn, which had grown substantially in the short time that it was gestated. She threw it at him, made a nasty, squishy splotch sound. Hit him in the head, slid down onto the bed. She stood up, wobbled a bit, fell to the ground, where she bled out, died. Oh, he was crushed. He had grown to love this woman and was even thinking of revoking his demonhood to be with her. So needless to say, he was absolutely terrifyingly crushed. He suffered immensely. Here he had lost his child and the woman he loved all in a moment. Now at first, he had no idea that Jericho was responsible for this shit. None whatsoever. But Jericho, having been, in the corner watching everything unfold, couldn't help but to laugh. And also make noises like he was busting a nut, because for him, that was some of the best suffering he had ever feasted upon. Especially the suffering of another demon whose heart felt pure love. It takes a lot for a demon to feel pure love. Period. Any kind of emotion beyond torture and terror, fear, is rare. Very rare. So this was a delicacy unlike one he had ever tasted. Now the demon D, having been crushed, no longer wanting to be a demon, but now having lost the human companion and his child, he was distraught. Jericho emerged from the shadows, laughing. D looked upon him and said, "A curse upon you I shall give you." And with his last bit of demon energy, he cursed Jericho to no longer be able to enter into the realm of demons. Now, in order for a curse like this to be invoked, the demon that invokes this curse must give up his life in order to do so. Which is why demons don't do a whole lot of cursing and shit, because most of them enjoy running around torturing people. But this demon, like I said, no longer wanted to be a demon, but he couldn't be a human without the human that he loved. So his life, he ended, and Jericho was cursed to roam the realm of humans forever. Now you're wondering, well, what does that have to do with this motel? Well, it just so happened that this little incident, him and her, happened at this motel. Just in the 90s at some point in time. So, when Jericho realized that he couldn't go back to the realm of demons, because, he obviously didn't believe what the fuck this demon D had said. He thought he was just talking shit because he was crushed. So he tried to go back to the realm of demons. And he couldn't. This sent him into a rage. He went into this rage. And during this rage, he possessed different patrons of this motel and made them kill other patrons of the motel until there were no patrons left to kill. The last person that he possessed was shot dead by the police. And since he was trapped in this realm, he ended up trapped in the last body of the person that he was in before he died, because they didn't get close enough to him to actually, for him to jump out. That's what I'm trying to say. So, he was stuck in his body. Now, because of the massacre, obviously, the hotel lost business. And that was that. It closed. And when they tried to tear down the building, there was a force. This heavy, evil force. An old lady that everybody trusted in that area told them to tear down this building would open up a rift into hell. People around that area are pretty religious. So they just left it there. They built a hotel in front of it. And that was that. That's why it's still sitting there. Anyway, so Jericho tells me all this, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do that's supposed to help you at all? Like, you're a demon stuck in a dead body, stuck in a realm that you don't want to be in. And I can't think of exactly what it is that I can do to help you. He licked his lips in a way that made me uneasy, very uncomfortable. He said, "You can give me your soul." I was like, "No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm kind of attached to my soul. I like it right where it's at, which is inside of me, where it belongs." He said, "Then I'll fight you for it." He punched me in my face with his half-rotten hand. You're probably saying, this has been years, why does he even have any flesh left on him? Because he's a fucking demon, people. That's why he fucking still has fucking flesh left on him. Rotting flesh, like a zombie. Stinky, like all those shits piled on top of each other, like I told you his breath smelled, right? So when he punches me in the face with his rotting flesh, like a small piece of it slips into my mouth. That's the face I made as I collapsed to the ground. Because now I tasted what I didn't want to taste. And it tasted as putrid and disgusting as I thought it would be. It's very comparable to vegan food. And you already know how I feel about that. Razamul, he's laughing because I'm suffering now. And so is this demon because it wants to go back to fucking Earth. I mean, not Earth. It wants to leave Earth and go to the demon realm. So I notice that Razamul's eyes are glowing now, like they were the day when I first found him. It's worried me greatly. It worried me greatly because, you know, I know that I can't fight two demons at once. It's not gonna work well for me at all. So I had to make a decision. Do I try to contain Razamul and then leave myself open to being attacked by this zombie demon thing, Jericho? Or do I kill the zombie demon Jericho and then deal with Razamul after the fact? Oh, you want to know what happened? Okay, hold on. I decided to pull out the holy shotgun. What else could I do? I gave that demon zombie thing, Jericho, both barrels. Boosh, boosh! Hit him. Push, push. Chest. Explodes. Head hits the ground. He's looking up at me. I was like, you don't know who I am. You didn't see me walk in with the jar of demon? When I said jar of demon, I heard the glass shatter. And I heard Razamul laugh. I turned around just in time to see him slip through a crack that had opened up in reality. Slipped right through. So needless to say, folks, I've been a little bit nervous. Because, you know, I've had him trapped in that jar for quite some time. And I don't know if he plans on coming back to fuck me up. I mean, if I was him, I probably would come back and fuck me up too. Or maybe I would think about the good times that we had together, and I might come back and visit and go on adventures with him. But that remains to be seen. As of right now, the reason I haven't been sleeping lately is because I'm worried. He knows where I lay my head. He knows my spells. He knows where I keep all my blessed trinkets. If he decides to bring Satan along, well, it's gonna be a fucking fight that I don't think I'm quite ready for. No. I guess we're just gonna have to wait until next week find out on another episode of OmenG's Stupid Scary Stories.